Hey, it's Monday and I'm Midja. Are you getting ready to get ready? I heard this from a mentor this week and I immediately got an image of a 50-meter swimming pool in my mind. So imagine this, you're at the swimming pool and you step up to the starting block. And you've got your toes curled over the edge and your arms are back ready to dive in, and you stop and you straighten up and you step back from the starting block. And maybe you have to kind of adjust your goggles. Maybe you just feel like you need to stretch and limber up a little bit more. Or maybe you just want to dip your toe in the water to see how cold it is. Now, meanwhile, the person in the lane next to you has already dived in. They are halfway down the swimming pool, and guess what? They're going to win. And they may not have as much talent as you have. Maybe they're not as smart, as intelligent as you. Maybe their ideas are not any better than your ideas. But what they do have is they do have the courage to jump in and to start swimming. Now, as a little girl growing up, my dad gave me lots of advice about business. And I remember something he said to me often. And he said, in this life, there are people who are gunners. And I'm like, Dad, what's a gunner? And he'd be like, these are people that are gonna do this and gonna do that, but never do it. And he said, don't be a gunner, be a doer. Less talk, more action, just do it. And I'm like, thanks, Dad. But you know what? It's easier said than done, right? Because there are so many things that hold us back from jumping into that swimming pool. Things like our lack of self-confidence and self-belief, maybe a fear of failure, a fear of success, a fear of embarrassing ourselves and not knowing what we're doing. And maybe there's just good old procrastination that stops us from jumping in. And often what we do is we put our own conditions on jumping in, on that next step that we want to take in our lives. Maybe it's that we want to lose 5 kilos before we start dating. Maybe we need to get a qualification before we start looking for a new job. Or maybe we need to get our website built before we launch our new business. But of course, all of these conditions are self-imposed. They're just in our own minds, and often they don't actually exist. And so what can we do to get past these? Well, I think there's a few things. I think firstly, you have to break down the goal and just simplify it and think, what is the next step I can take? And just do that. Because if you think about the goal in its entirety, sometimes it can feel overwhelming. I think also you need to focus on your strengths. So think about actually, what do I bring to the table right now that I can use to achieve this goal? And also get proof for people who have done and achieved what you want to achieve without those conditions. And finally, find a tribe. Find your tribe, people that are willing to take the jump with you. Now, I know that in life and in business, you have to plan and you have to prepare. Absolutely. You need to take the time and the space to figure out the goal and the strategy on how to get there. But you've got to also realize when enough is enough. And when you have stood up at those starting blocks too many times. And maybe you just need a bit of a push to get you started. I'm Midja. Bye, guys.